Just want to say a quick congratulations to Ben, who's won the Veilton Hellflame Distortion from my 4,000 subs competition. And I've just looked down and noticed I've gone over 5,000, which is wicked. You guys have snuck up on me. And for that reason, I'm not prepared with another giveaway. However, I've just got my arse into gear and I'm going to do a special collaboration with someone. I'm not going to give you too much information, but if you hit subscribe below and keep up to date with my channel, I should be dropping something pretty special in the next couple of weeks. Okay, enjoy the lesson. So we're going to start with an E minor bar chord rooted to the 7th fret of the A string. So you'll take your index finger, put that there, 3rd and 4th fingers on the 9th fret of the D and G, and your 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the B. Picking pattern I like to do is down, down, up, up, from the A to the D and the B to the G, like this. Okay? It's worth practicing that for a second because this shape is pretty much going to carry on throughout the whole intro, and so is the picking. So from there, we're going to drop everything down one string, and we're at B major. Okay? What I want you to do then, bring your pick down and do the same picking pattern, but E, A, G, D. From there, we're going to go down to G, which is the 3rd fret of the E string. Slide that up to A, 5th fret of the E. Okay. From there, we're going up to C, 8th fret of the E. Okay, so to recap, E minor, B major, G major, A major, C major. Okay. From there, we're going to go back to that first bar chord again, the E minor. Now I pick the open E and then the A string, both E's, and then I hit the B, then the G. Slightly different that time. So from the C, from there, you can keep your 3rd finger on. If you slide it back 2 frets to the 7th fret of the D and put your 2nd finger on the 6th fret of the G, you're going to pick in order from the A string to the B. And you get the open A, 7 on the D, 6 on the G, and open B. So to conclude, the verse to this song comes in 2 sections, which follows the chord progression we just learned in the intro, except we're going to change it slightly here and just make it all power chords. So the first one we're going to do is taking this E shape, but doing it as an E power chord here. Open E, and then the 2nd fret of the A and the D. And we're going to do heavy palm muting with the picking hand and just 2 downstrokes like this. From there, you're going to move up to B. Same principle, G, A, C, E, again, open this time, and then we're going to go to A. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the note names, we've got open position, fret 7 with the 1st finger, fret 3, 5, 8, open E, and then 5. But I would heavily suggest that you learn your notes as well as fret numbers so that you start building a good musical understanding. So when we get to that final A power chord, you're going to hit it twice. You have the option at that moment to kick on some distortion and do this riff. So what we're doing there is simply hitting the open E on an upstroke and then the 3rd fret of the E, and then again upstroke and 3rd fret of the E. Up, down works best for me there. And I give it a slight pull and a little bit of vibrato. From there, the reason I picked 2nd finger is that we can go straight back to the power chord with the 1st finger. So it's just a little bit of prep there that's going to help you get to the next shape pretty quick. So if I recap what we've just done, I'll just do it once. Practice that change at the end, it's quite quick. So for the second part of the verse, you're going to be playing the exact same bar chords that we played in the intro, except you're going to be just doing stabs of them, single stabs, and then sliding your hand down. Okay, so you'd wait for the other guitar part. Okay. And you do single stabs. So if I just counted it without playing the other part, you'd have something like this. So at the end there, we only have to hit the A once because we can chuck in that riff again. This time you'll notice I play it with my 1st finger because I don't need to go to the open E. I play it with my 1st finger so I can get back up to the E minor bar chord quickly. So you play that A once, distortion on, distortion off, back to your E minor bar chord. And that'll go all the way through. You'll finish with that riff again, and that'll lead us into the chorus. If you take the power chords that we learnt from the first part of the verse, the ones with the palm muting, we can use them in the exact same order here to play the chorus. So it's easy, we don't have to learn anything new. All we have to do is change the right hand rhythm to a more consistent accented strum. It's going to be all downstrokes, and I like to do all 3 of the bass strings and then just kind of catch the low E. So you get this like 1 and 2 and... And what that does there is it breaks up the idea of 1 and 2 and just gives it a little bit more drive, so it's not just all blah, 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 blah. You got this. And obviously if you kick your overdrive on, I won't be able to talk now, but you'll be able to hear it. So if you're just going to play the power chords all the way throughout the chorus, then you're going to do that 3 full cycles, but the riff at the end of the 3rd repeat, we're going to change that which will lead us into the second verse. So this is what I've got. And it's going to be a little triplet run. And it sounds proper badass on the record, it's cool. So the notes are going to be open E, then A and B on your E string, so that's frets 5 and 7. And you can do that with index and third finger. So I like to alternate my picking here. It's a little bit tricky. If you want to pick it a different way, that's totally fine. But try and stay away from hammer-ons here and all downstrokes, because you're going to need some fluency. Okay, so that's open E, A then B. I hit the open E again, then I hit 5 on the A, 7 on the A, which are the notes D and E. Okay. And then finish by hitting the open E again. We come in at the same place, it's just a different riff. So if we were on the A, that'd be the first one we learned, this one. Kick a bit of distortion on, full speed. Okay, so the second riff in the chorus is pretty cool. It's repetitive and it descends chromatically, and it involves a little bit of stretching. So we're going to take our third and fourth fingers and put them on the 12th frets of the B and E. And then we're just going to pick E, B, E, B, up, down, up, down. You're then going to put your second finger on the 11th fret of the E, and then you're going to go up, down, up, down. Then you're going to take your first finger and put that on the 10th fret of the E. And then you're going to stretch that back to the 9th fret of the E. Obviously this third finger is staying on the 12th fret of the B, not moving. From the 9, you're going to stretch that first finger back to the 8. So that's the biggest stretch you're going to need to do. It's very dissonant, but obviously it's following the chord progression, so it sounds great with the chords. Okay, from there you're going to come back to 7, but we're going to bring the third finger now to the 9th fret of the G. String skip, but same picking pattern. Okay. Okay, now you're going to take your fourth finger to the 10th fret of the B, and you're going to pick between the B and the G now, twice as long. So, I say twice as long, you've got an option here. You can either go like this, and then into your chorus chords to pack it out, or you can do the riff and cut that short. So you'd go 1 and 2 and 3 and... So you'd miss off the last two notes. Sorry. And obviously with a bit of overdrive. So the second verse starts exactly the same way the first verse started, except when it goes through its second cycle, it chucks in some cool riffs. In my cover, I split them up over 2 guitars, but I'm just going to show you how to do them on the 1. So to start that second cycle, we've got the triplet riff. Okay. Then we've got the E minor stabs. Okay. I'm going to show you the chords first and then I'll show you the little bend. So that was E minor first. Then you're going to do a G power chord, 5th fret of the D, 7th fret of the G. Okay. And then you're just going to hit a C note, 3rd fret of the A, hit that twice. And then we've got an open A power chord, and we're just going to kind of go 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and. So all in all, without the bends, you've got. Then you'd be into the chorus. Now we're going to do this bend 3 different points after those stabs, and the bend is 1st finger on the 8th fret of the B and 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the G, and all you're going to do is play it once, both notes at the same time, and bend the 3rd finger to sound like the 1st finger. Okay, this is a double stop bend. Quite a common thing, you probably heard it, Iron Maiden especially. The first time we bend will be after the E minor, and that will come on the and after 2. Then we'll play that little G power chord, and then we'll play the bend on the and after 3, and then we'll play the C note, and we'll play the bend on the and after 4. So I'm going to play it really slow and count it out loud. And then once you understand it, you can just play it yourself. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So if you understand where the stabs are, and you understand how to bend that note to sound like this one, then all you need to remember is that you're playing the and after 2, the and after 3, and the and after 4, and just practice it until it makes sense. Or you could play one of the parts one time and one of the parts the other time, or show it to a friend. So I'm going to put some distortion on and play it at full speed just to show you how it works. So you're not going to need to learn any new shapes for this section because it's all power chords on the same string, and the rhythm is going to be the same as the chorus. Okay, but there's just a couple of new chords. So starting on the 8th fret, the C, down to the E, and then we're going to come to the 6th fret to the B flat, and then move down 1 fret to the A, move down to the G, 3rd fret, and then we're going to move down chromatically, and we're going to do 2 strokes on the 2nd fret, and then move to the F and do 2 strokes there. So from the G, okay, so to recap, we had C, E, B flat, A, and then from the G, move down chromatically, finishing on the F. I'll put some overdrive on. It's pretty simple, that's why I'm moving through it quite quickly for you. But I'll play it with some overdrive now and you can get a better feel for it. Okay, so the melody for this section is really cool. I think it's played on a synth, but I've lifted it out for guitar and it follows the chord changes really nicely. We're going to start with the first finger on the 7th fret of the A on the note E, and then we're going to play the 10th fret, note G, with the 4th finger. Okay, hop straight over to the D string, fret 10, then fret 9 of the G with the 3rd finger. Then we're going to hit the 7th fret of the B with the index finger and the 8th fret with the 2nd finger. 9th fret of the G, 9th fret of the D. You can use your 3rd finger for both. Okay. It's your first little pattern. Then we're going to hit the 7th fret of the G with the index finger, 8th fret of the D with the 3rd, 8th fret of the A with the 2nd, and back to 8th fret of the D with the 3rd. It's pretty much lifted out of a B flat major chord. Okay. Okay, after that we're going to come to the 6th fret of the G with the 2nd finger, before hitting the 7th fret with the 3rd finger. Semitone apart. First finger is then going to go to the 5 on the B before hitting the 7 on the B with the 3rd finger. So we've got quick position change with the hand now. You'd be tempted to use the 3rd finger to just go to the 8th fret because it's right next to it, but I like to use the 2nd finger because it sets us up better for the rest of the things we're going to play. So 2nd finger in the 8 on the B, then to the 7 with the index finger, drop that down a string, and then your 3rd finger on the 9 on the D. Okay, from here. And then we're going to drop back to the 6th fret on the G with the index finger before hitting the 7 with the 2nd, and then the 9, 10 on the G with the index and 2nd. So all in all, slowly. I'll put some effects on, play it at full speed. What could we put on? It's a lot of effects. Just to be super clear and make sure we've covered everything, there is a little break in the middle, which is the chorus riff again, and you're just going to start a bit differently. You're going to start by hitting the 12 on the E on the 2nd beat. So you'd go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then continue to play that riff. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you'd carry on. And then you're just going to finish and sustain the note A, 10th fret of the B, and then wait for the awesome little drum fill, and then you'll be... Thanks for choosing to learn this song with me today. If you liked it, go ahead and drop a like on the video. If you didn't, then you should probably still go and drop a like on the video. And yeah, hit subscribe if you haven't already, because I've got a couple of cool things dropping over the next couple of weeks, along with that giveaway I was talking about. And yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know what you like and what you don't like about the videos. And if you want to learn something else, I can get on that as well. I like reading through your comments, talking to you guys. Peace. See you in the next one.